Hey everyone, Republic Jim here. I apologize for my long absence without any videos, but I'm back now. Just had a lot of things going on and it hasn't been a real big priority to make any videos. But that said, now that Christmas has passed, we got a little bit of snow on the ground, colder weather. I thought it'd be kind of appropriate to talk about emergency shelter and kind of discuss what I carry around in my vehicle, in my pack, just as a kit for making shelter anytime I'm out in the woods. So I'm just going to jump right into that. So first of all, what I have is just an all-in-one kit that I put together in this Condor large utility pouch. I wanted something that was all self-contained. I could transfer from one pack to another. This has MOLLE attachments on the back, so I can strap them onto any webbing on a pack. Normally for my large search and rescue pack, I carry this in the top expansion pouch on that, but I can switch it to another pack, or I have a tactical chest rig that I can just hang it off of the webbing on that, or I could even carry it hanging off of a belt if I chose to do that. So I have everything in this kit that I need to rig up a quick shelter out in the woods. And so I will reset the camera and then dive into what I'm carrying inside of it. Okay, so now I can get into the contents here. So first off, the primary part of this is the basic grabber emergency tarp. It's got the reflective surface on the inside and just the high visibility outside, grommets on the corners. It's about a 5-foot by 7-foot tarp. I set that up with the ridge line, and that's like just kind of a lean-to. It's the back part of the basic shelter. I carry around a bag that has assorted clips and other small pieces like that, just to keep it all self-contained. Have a couple of these tarp clips that are handy for tying things out. They have the little loop on the end there, so easy to attach lines to, and holding sections of tarp together. Also carry some binder clips as a compact and lightweight way to attach plastic and such to a tarp or similar things. Got a couple of these little items which are great for tensioning lines that loop back on themselves without having to do a knot. Just feed it through there and cinch it down. And then I also have a few of these, including a couple of partial pieces of dowel. Those are actually kind of handy for running a line through a grommet on a tarp and then just hooking that in a loop to secure the line to the grommet without having to actually tie it in a knot around the grommet. Just a quick way to hook it in there and be able to release it quickly later. At some point I'll do a video where I actually show this in place out in the field, how it all works, but for now I just wanted to give a quick overview of what I carry. I have quite a few of these lightweight aluminum tent stakes. Come in quite handy for tying out lines, of course, and securing the bottom end of the tarp. And I also have a bag with quite a bit of paracord in there, including one that is already set up as a ridge line. I have that actually marked with a red elastic band around it, just so it's easy to find quickly and get it out. That's the right length to where I can just tie it out between a couple of trees and have plenty of length for setting up my tarp on it. And then there's quite a few of these smaller loops that are tied off that I can just quickly get out and use for connecting to the ridge line, like set up as a prusik for tensioning the tarp in place, or something to run through the grommet to make it easier to get tent stakes in. So I like to just have a good assortment of paracord ready to go and keep it all in one spot so there's no problem locating it. And then finally, I carry a couple of these. These are Painter's plastic drop cloths, which I found these things on Amazon. They're pre-made in 9 foot by 12 foot and individually packaged. And I use them as the plastic cover on my super shelter. I found that they work much better than thicker plastic because they're far more transparent, let more radiant heat through. The heavier, like 6 mil plastic, just tends to block a lot of the radiant heat, doesn't let it get as warm inside a super shelter. So, and the 9 by 12 size is perfect for putting over the shelter. When I have this tarp set out 7 feet long, then the 9 foot length is just long enough that I can run it over that and have enough left over on either end to tuck in and make the ends of the shelter. And then the 12 foot length wraps around, goes over the back of that and down in front and seals everything up nicely. I'll post a link to the camp out I did in a super shelter just to give an idea of how that works. But I carry a couple of those just in case one gets damaged or I have to make a shelter for a couple of nights in a row for some reason. They're pretty much a single-use piece of plastic because they're light. They can get holes burned through pretty easily from embers and such. And over the course of a night, they'll usually tear a little bit from any kind of wind or anything. And rather than trying to fold them up and reuse them again later, I just get one use out of them and scrap them. But I got a pack of 20 of them off of Amazon for really cheap, and it's just a perfect thing to add into my kit and carry around to make a very effective shelter for cold weather. Combine that with a good fire, and I can stay quite warm even on a pretty cold night. So anyway, that's just a quick overview of what I carry around in this kit. It's compact, it's pretty light, it's easy to carry in my pack or just have it in my car or whatever, and really works out great. So I will get back later, as I said, with another video sometime showing it in operation out in the field, but that's all I have for now. Talk to you later. This has been Republic Jim.